spectators are reminded that there is no standing in gangways or areas giving access to stands. All spectators are to remain seated throughout the match as well as not standing in the yellow hatched areas. These need to be kept clear as they are designated walkways. Consumption of alcohol is not permitted in the playing area. Smoking or vaping is not allowed throughout the stadium. We will facilitate a smoking and vaping break during the half-time interval. Should you require any medical assistance during the game, please contact the nearest steward. For all vehicle owners parked on the stadium footprint, please remain in your allocated parking space and refrain from moving your vehicle until instructed to do so by car park stewards. Please adhere to the 10-mile-an-hour speed limit. Finally, thank you for your cooperation and enjoy your matchday experience.
As we're getting a little bit close to kick-off time, we'll run through the roping lineup once again. In goal tonight is number 1, Alexis Andre Jr. Number 3, Josh Casey. Number 4, Scott Cuthbert. Number 21, Timmy Obasina. Number 11, Darren Lewis. Number 17, Jim Kellerman. Number 16, Olatunji Aguilera. Number 23, Jermaine Anderson. Number 27, Dion Kelly-Evans. Number 10, Lewis Walker, and number 33, Charlie Kendall. The subs tonight for the Cardinals, number 2, Daniel Ross, number 24, Rohan Ince.
Do you know something, Tim? It's funny thinking it's not actually that cold. I'm feeling a little overdressed. I don't know how Ian feels. I'm wearing a rather lovely bobble hat this evening, Tim, and I'm thinking of taking it off. But anyway, shall we talk about the game, Ian? So we mentioned quite a few changes. For Woking this evening, 7 in total against the runaway leaders. Do you think the enforced absence from action has actually encouraged the manager here to make all those changes?
Well, I think a couple of the changes were, I think against Solihull there was an element of trying out newer things. For instance, Josh Casey didn't feature in that game, trying out new things. Obviously, Porrick Hammond left the club today. It was announced that he'd left to return to Ireland, so Porrick isn't featuring. And then there are new players, so I suspect there's been a very intense 3 weeks really on the training ground, looking at the best. Michael Doyle's, I think he's hinted and made it fairly clear. I think 3-5-2 is probably his favoured formation. I hope I'm not misrepresenting him there. And whether it's possible to turn to that immediately, but certainly with players like Dion Kelly-Evans coming in, they can play in that formation. And two new players up front with Charlie Kendall and Walker. So it's going to be very fascinating tonight. Obviously, you don't get harder than playing Chesterfield away. They've dropped 2 points here all season. So, and as you say, it's wet and windy, which, depending on how Woking play, it might be a leveller, it might not. We'll know in 90 minutes. But no, it's going to be a great evening, fascinating evening, lovely ground. Great, very friendly people, very friendly club, and we'll just see how it goes. But certainly a lot of changes.
A lot of changes, as you say, Ian. Just looking around, as you quite rightly say, it is a lovely ground with the steel structure and the curved roofs along the two main stands running along the length of the pitch. Just looking at the floodlights, you can see the rain really swirling around. It's quite a filthy evening, but it is remarkably mild. And I did tell you, Ian, that driving to this game from North Yorkshire, I think the temperature's risen something like 5 degrees.
Yeah,
that's how crazy it is.
Yeah, it's warm, wet and windy, but I've got my hat on, another Christmas present, and my scarf.
Okay, so kick-off coming up very soon, Tim. Thank you, Tim. Well, what a challenge lies ahead for Woking, flirting with relegation this season after such a wonderful campaign under Darren Sarll. Last season they were pushing for the playoffs. In fact, they contested with Chesterfield for third place, but what a difference almost 12 months makes, because Chesterfield are now riding high. They're the runaway leaders in the National League, the real heavyweights, and it's going to take something extraordinary now, you would think, to stop them going up back into League Two. For Woking, though, can they achieve what so many opponents in the National League have failed time and time and time again at this venue? Because Chesterfield have only dropped 2 points from 14 league games here. They've beaten 13 teams. They've only drawn with 1. That was Oldham more than 5 months ago. Woking themselves have had 5 wins on the road. They'll bear that in mind. And with this much changed side, what could we see tonight? Could we see what might potentially be, Ian, one of the biggest upsets, if not the biggest upset in the National League this season?
It would certainly be a big upset. Yeah, it's just looking at the Woking side now, I'm beginning to think they've lined up as 3-5-2, but we'll see. But yeah, huge. I mean, Chesterfield have done brilliantly this season. You could easily drop off after coming so close, but they've gone on in spades under Paul Cook, and yeah, full credit to them.
As the home side come forward for the first time, with Banks just hooking the ball right into the path of Cuthbert, who clears over the halfway line. So Woking are playing in their traditional red and white halves with black shorts and white socks, defending the goal towards our left, and they are defending right now just beyond their own 18-yard line as the home side stroke the ball straight out of play. Not the best of passes from Jamie Grimes on that time, looking for Horton, the left back, who strode forward halfway inside the Woking half. But just thinking about the new reign at Woking, so not been the easiest of starts for Michael Doyle. Just 4 games so far, interrupted by the weather, of course. What have you thought of his reign so far?
Well, I like him. He's a clear thinker. He's obviously knows what he wants to do, and he's rung the changes. The games have been hard. A great draw and a positive draw, and probably a winning draw in a sense, if you can have that away at Aldershot. But a poor result in the other way. A very poor result at Solihull. There was a win just before he took over that he was watching away at Dorking. So you'd hope there's something to build on. I'm now looking at it, and it's hard to tell. I think it's now 4 at the back. But yeah, well, it's.
I'll give you those lineups very soon.
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah, I think he's rung the changes. I think he knows what he wants to do, and he has to have time. Although obviously with games running out, you haven't got a huge amount of time to ring those changes.
Well, he's made 7 as Michael. I'll go through the Woking lineup. So coming in for tonight's game, Josh Casey, Timmy Odesina. He's just signed an extension to his loan spell here from Bradford City, so he'll be at Woking until the end of the season. Denon Lewis coming in too, along with Jermaine Anderson. Dion Kelly Evans making his debut. Lewis Walker playing up front with Charlie Kendall, also making his debut this evening. So we think at the moment that Woking are playing with possibly a 4 or a 4-1-3-2 formation. Chesterfield, on the other hand, they've made 3 changes following their latest success. That was a 2-1 victory at home against Altrincham. Raheem Shackelford, he was a major doubt with a large gash to his leg, so he hasn't made it. Neither has Ash Palmer and Michael Jacobs, one of the summer signings for the Spireites. And they come forward now with Tyrone Williams, one of the players coming in, sweeping the ball out wide to Ollie Banks, coming in field. Now with Naylor with a couple of touches, spreads the ball out towards the right hand side with King. Back to Naylor, just looks in field, decides to play back to Williams. And Oldacre, the former Dorking player, with a beautiful pass onto this near side. Kept in play by Horton. Dobra, lovely turn of pace, just outside the area. Up against Kelly Evans, back onto this left-hand side again. Clipped in well towards Dobra, just outside the 6-yard box. And coming across was Odesina. It came off his knees, out for a first corner of the game, going to Chesterfield.
Yeah, good work there by Chesterfield, playing it on the ground. And a couple of times you see how the obvious ball there would have been the cross in, and instead it was a short pass to the near post. But Odesina covered it well.
And the 6-yard area is really packed and congested at the moment, and the referee has just seen something. And he's just trying to sort something out here. But there are only 4 outfield players, well, not including the corner taker, outside the 6-yard box. And it comes from Mandeville far too long, and the wind probably just caught it as well as it's bends well beyond the far post for a goal kick. Coming up to 5 minutes. Neither goalkeeper being tested so far. 0-0.
Yeah, you've got Ollie Banks there, who's, I don't know what he is, he was towering over Scott Cuthbert. Must be a good 3 or 4 inches taller than Scott Cuthbert, and he was standing on Scott Cuthbert and Andre Jr. in the goal. So that's obviously his position at corners, but it was a woefully overhit corner, and gives the ball back to Woking.
Just to remind you, we'll be keeping an eye on the other games featuring our local sides throughout the evening. And they are all currently goalless. As and when things change, we'll be right on top of things for you. On this sports special on BBC Radio Surrey. We're covering Woking this evening, making the long trek up to Derbyshire. Up against Chesterfield, whose lead at the top of the table is currently 11 points ahead of second place Bromley, playing away at Aldershot tonight. So that's going to be quite a tough one for the Shots, but we'll see how they fare throughout the evening. Back here, Chesterfield coming forward, have a little space with Grimes just inside the centre circle is Oldacre, just neat turn from him. And Naylor to King, the ball in field. Mandeville, play just opens up slightly. Oldacre just outside the area now, as Chesterfield love to spread the ball around. Picked up by Norton again, the loose clearance from Woking doesn't get them out of trouble. As the men in blue and white again pick up possession once more with Dobra. Shakes off one tackle, gets away from Kellerman. Now just outside the box, tests Andre Alexis, and he dives low to his left just to palm the ball away. But Chesterfield come again, this relentless juggernaut at the top of the National League. The rain continuing to sweep down in Derbyshire. Banks onto the edge of the area as a shot comes in, and Alexis that time is right behind it. The shot coming in.
Great work by Dobra there. You know, the way he just left 2 players for dead really, and had a shot which was well saved by Andre Jr. But you know what, Chesterfield there showing what they have going forward. Very, very clean play around the box, trying to find the men.
Almost half a chance for Woking with Lewis Walker's flick, not really finding a player in red and white, and Chesterfield pile forward again, but that time Cuthbert steps in, clears first time beyond the halfway line. But it's all rather one way, not surprisingly. The leaders buzzing with confidence, especially at home. They're not too bad away from home either, incidentally. 9 wins on the road. It's just been a fantastic campaign for the Spireites, and who on earth is going to stop them? I honestly don't think anybody thinks they can be stopped. I think the only team that can stop them is actually Chesterfield themselves.
Yeah, they certainly, on the form they're showing, they don't look like that. They've scored a lot of late goals this season. Games where they look like they're going to draw, look like they could even lose, and suddenly they come strong in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Jim Kellerman there against his old team, giving away the foul.
Yep, committing that foul on Armando Dobra, the former Ipswich Town player. He's actually one of 8 players in recent weeks to commit their futures to Chesterfield, either on a new deal or a contract extension. He really is one to look out for, one of many for Chesterfield, as almost a through ball finds Horton, does so eventually. Up against Kelly Evans. In the right back position, back towards Grimes, and Chesterfield are just happy just to go back towards the halfway line. So we've got a goal at Crawley. Let's go to Nathan Albert.
I think
So the cross comes in and it flashes past the wide down the far post. So welcome back to our commentary here at Chesterfield. The cross from Jeff King on the right hand side, just bending beyond Andre's far post.
And you would say this first 10 minutes probably Chesterfield have had, I would say, 80% of the possession and probably 80% of the pressure as well, and it's no chances yet for Woking. Chesterfield 2 or 3 threatening moves, 1 great chance.
Well, already Andre's made a couple of saves that you would expect any goalkeeper to make, to be fair. But he had to make them all the same. And I think that's something that every goalkeeper wants, just to make a couple of saves, just to get them into the game. Banks showing some lovely footwork, doesn't quite find Horton. And Odesina just shields the ball out of play, really deep inside the Woking half. Still goalless, just beyond 10 minutes, Ian.
Yeah, and Odesina and Kelly Evans doing well there in snuffing out any, again, neat play down the wing from Chesterfield, but they defended well, kept their shape.
It's Kelly Evans' attempted clearance down the right-hand side. He's blocked quickly by Dobra. Another throw for Woking.
Lest Woking fans get too despondent there. My mind goes back to a game quite a few years ago now where Woking played against Luton, who or Chesterfield coming forward here.
Mandeville almost getting a slight tug of the jersey from Kelly Evans.
But Luton were unbeaten at home all season, hadn't been beaten in 23 games, and Woking went to Luton and won 1-0 live on the TV screen. So upsets are possible.
Could we see one tonight? It would really give Woking a massive boost. Just above the relegation zone ahead of kick-off. Dobra just dropping slightly short, linking up with Oldacre, and Chesterfield. They're not afraid to go backwards, are they, Ian? No. If they feel as though there is no option to go forward, they just recycle possession and start again. Yeah,
they're good on the ball, and their confidence is just saying it's keeping the ball, which is very much, I think that reflects the standard of their players.
And Chesterfield are just caught offside on this near side. So let's get an update from Rob, who's covering Aldershot against Bromley.
We've got Andre Jr. gone down here.
So just at the moment, yes, you're quite right, Ian, because the Woking goalkeeper Alexis Andre has just gone down on one knee. He's just pointing to his boot. And the physio's on inside the 6-yard box just to have a look at him. So still goalless here at Chesterfield. Thank you so much, Rob. So goalless there. We know that Crawley are leading 1-0 at Peterborough in the EFL Trophy. Dagenham and Redbridge against Dorking. The last we heard, that is 0-0. I'm sure we'll be going there very soon for an update. In fact, why don't we do that now with Tom Mitchell? So we're still looking at Alexis Andre. Just seemed to just hop on one leg, just stretching both of them now. And I think it's going to be perfectly okay. Ian, not sure what the problem there was, but play's going to restart very shortly.
I'm also looking and seeing that there's no keeper on the bench, so I'd hope he'd continue.
Don't forget, you can actually catch both those featured games on the BBC Sport website right now. At the moment, we've got full live commentary here on BBC Radio Surrey as a cross comes in from Kendall. First attack of note for Woking. Now with Casey down the left-hand side, trying to get in behind the defence.
First corner for Woking.
Lewis, yes, Ian, and the first corner of the game for Woking.
Yeah, Casey and Lewis combine well. They've, when Woking are moving forward, I think they've got quite a good understanding, and good work there by Woking. Casey putting in Lewis, who couldn't quite get his cross in as Chesterfield came to cover, but a corner to Woking.
Group of 3 players stood on the edge of the box for Woking. It's taken short though, as Casey tries to pick up a back heel. The cross comes in from Kendall towards the near post. Cleared on the volley though, that time by Chesterfield, and it bounces a couple of times before going out for a throw for Woking. But finally, Woking have some breathing space inside the Chesterfield half.
Yeah, a bit more positive there and a bit of a relief, and it was a well-worked move at the corner, short corner, and came back to Casey, who got the ball in, but Chesterfield managed to hack it clear to the halfway line.
So Woking are still inside the Chesterfield half, but we do have another goal between Peterborough and Crawley Town, Nathan. And just then, it just looked like Akinola. I'm not sure if he was trying to test Tyra from almost the halfway line there, Ian.
Yeah, it looked like it was either Akinola or Kellerman. I couldn't see which one of them it did, but with the wind, this strength, it really didn't have the legs on it to test.
So yes, 1-1. Thank you for that update, Nathan. So 1-1 between Peterborough and Crawley Town in the EFL Trophy. Goalless in the other 2 National League games between Aldershot and Bromley, and Dagenham and Redbridge and Dorking Wanderers. And Farnborough are leading 1-0 at Hemel Hempstead. That has just come in from the National League South. The rain still coming down here at Chesterfield. 0-0 between the National League leaders and Woking, as that's a complete scuff from Josh Casey. Goes straight out of play onto the far side, and he almost kind of looked towards one of his teammates as if to blame them for that horrible miscue, but it's gone out for a throw.
Either that or the pitch. I'll give the benefit down, say he's looking at the pitch, but it was poor. But here's Chesterfield coming forward again.
And they are, but that's broken up well by Kelly Evans. And now Kendall sweeping the ball across field, almost picking out Walker in the middle, just outside the D, but Chesterfield just able to mop that ball up and get it back to Harry Tyra.
Yeah. Game a bit more even now, but Chesterfield, whenever they come forward, they're good on the ball, looking to create openings. But Woking have a little bit more possession in the opposition half, and even though it's a bit stretched.
We've almost gone into a quieter phase of the game now with Woking growing into the game. Chesterfield rather limited with opportunities. They started very brightly, but they are still enjoying a lot of the possession at Chesterfield, but there seems to be no rush. They play a very patient game.
Yeah, and probably I would imagine that Woking have come expecting this sort of game, and they'll be set up for that. Particularly, I think teams often in these sorts of games look to keep it tight, particularly in the first 30 minutes, and then see where it takes them. In the last home game, it took a late goal from Berry, James Berry, just to give Chesterfield the win against Altrincham. 2-1 that was.
on the 16th of January. Whereas Woking have had to miss out on 2 back-to-back home games, and in the grand scheme of things, Ian Nicholson, that could have been massive for them.
Well, they were both sort of the games you'd look at and say, well, they're more winnable. Gateshead in a poor run of form, Oxford City lower in the table, and 6 points or even 4 points would have really changed the picture for Woking and given a good boost to Michael Doyle's early reign.
Oldacre towards Horton, who brings it down beautifully. Back into Drobber, cutting in from the left-hand side, almost level with the 18-yard line. Kellerman sliding in with a challenge, and he's going to be booked for that, I think. The referee, well, I thought for a moment he was going to pull out a card, possibly for persistent fouling, but that might be his last chance.
Yeah, Jim Kellerman's not a stranger to yellow cards, certainly, but again, Chesterfield good, Woking covering well, and Dobra in particular, and this free kick is in a, with the wind behind, is in a very dangerous position for an in-swinging free kick on the edge of the penalty area.
So this is a real test for Woking with this free kick to defend. Left of the D, about 22 to 24 yards out. 5 men in a Woking wall. Oldacre bends the ball in, strikes it at the wall. Back with Banks, who dinks the ball up to the far side with King. Plays it square into the path of Grimes. Now back onto this left-hand side with the Oldacre. Oldacre just stabs it into the path of Dobra. Dobra has no way forward. Back to Oldacre. Dobra once again trying to poke the delicate pass almost through to Grigg, has been relatively quiet so far, the leading goal scorer for Chesterfield this season, was with 16 goals.
No, he has, but then leading goal scorers often are, aren't they? And then they pop up at different points of the game. But it's he has been fairly quiet. But Woking defended that well. It wasn't the greatest free kick from Oldacre, certainly, and hit the wall. And but then they, Woking recovered, won their battles, and it's now Andre Jr. with the clearing free kick.
So what's Michael Doyle thinking right now, Ian, after the first 20 minutes?
Well, I think he'll be happy that it's 0-0. He'll be happy that Woking are beginning to sort of get into the game a little bit more, settle, having soaked up, if you like, the early onslaught. But he'll be under no illusions that this is still a very, very big task. Well, they've weathered the storm pretty well, and in fact, I think Storm Jocelyn's having a bit of a breather as well, because it stopped raining. It has. Still windy, I think. It's still pretty blustery, but every so often you see the rain going across as well, don't you?
Almost sheets of rain cascading across the pitch, but it's dry at the moment, thankfully. Horton's pass intercepted well by Kellerman inside the working half, but then he looks up to the heavens. And his pass towards Kendall goes straight out of play, giving the initiative back to the league leaders. Yeah,
Kellerman lifting up his hands there, an apology. He thought about the long ball, and then he decided to play the short ball to Kendall, but overhit it, and ball back with Chesterfield.
Naylor looking towards his near side. Would have found Horton in space, and now he makes himself available. Pokes the ball straight into Kellerman, launches one over the halfway line as Charlie Kendall battles for it with Grimes. Here comes Kelly Evans, though, just putting a little pressure on Horton, who's just forced to play the ball back to Tyra. Still 0-0.
Still 0-0, and as you say, the game a little bit more even now, but here comes a long ball to find that man Grigg, who we said...
And Grigg almost getting it behind Odasina, who's clearly holding him back. Had his arms behind his back, did Odasina, and he was right in front of us, and he's received the yellow card. And in truth, he can have no complaints.
No, he couldn't. And you saw Grigg there. The ball looked for the world as if it was going out. Grigg got on the end of it, toe poked it, Odasina on him, and then he turned Odasina. And really, Odasina did what I would dare say a professional footballer would do, and used his body to stop him, gave away the foul, but and got the yellow card for his troubles.
Mandeville to take this. Tyrone Williams stood at the edge of the box will go to Crawley shortly, just after this free kick, which is going to be swept in by Mandeville. It's towards the 6-yard box, and it comes off the knee of Jamie Grimes inside the 6-yard box. Woking held out for 23 minutes, but they have got behind. Grimes, the goal scorer for Chesterfield. Chesterfield 1, Woking 0. Let's get that goal update with Nathan, watching Crawley. So, I wouldn't say that was inevitable, Ian, but that looked like a dangerous set piece. Swept in low.
Yeah.
Yes, you could question the way that was defended. Grimes was the quickest to react, sticking out his knee to poke it past Alexis Andre. So, thank you for that, Nathan. So, Peterborough now leading Crawley by 2 goals to 1. Crawley were leading in that game in the EFL Trophy, but after the halfway point in the first half, Woking fall behind.
Yeah, and it was a comfortable conversion really from Jamie Grimes. A very good routine ball in from the left of the set piece across the 6-yard box. Andre too far out for Andre Jr. to come, and Grimes got there first and sort of booted or shinned it or whatever, but he got there first home, and all to do now for Woking.
1-0 for the leaders on this unstoppable run of theirs. And well, we knew it was going to be a tough test for Woking before we even kicked off, but as Ian rightly says, it's just getting even tougher now, and they are defending just inside their own half with Williams. We'll get updates from our other featured teams very, very shortly. We'll just see what, if anything, comes off this attack from Chesterfield. In fact, they're just stroking the ball between themselves across the halfway line. So let's go to Rob first of all, covering Aldershot against Bromley. So Chesterfield inching their way forward with Grimes as Banks is brought down by Kendall. And there's going to be a free kick for Woking, for Chesterfield, I should say, almost on the halfway line. Aldaker, I've been impressed with him. A very elegant footballer, loves to stroke the ball around from one flank to the next. And Casey's going to come across here in the left back position and nods the ball towards Leonard as well, just to hook the ball further down the line, straight towards. Thank you for that. So still Chesterfield leading here by 1-0 against Woking. What about Dagenham and Redbridge against Dorking? 0-0 last we heard. Tom Mitchell. As once again Chesterfield come inside, almost inside the 6-yard box with Dobra just almost falling forward onto the 6-yard box. And that could have been even more trouble for Woking there, Ian Nicholson.
Yeah, great ball from Jamie Grimes. Found Hartley, I think, out wide, and he good ball in, and but Woking managed to scramble it clear.
Well, while you're away, Dobra had a chance just to make it almost 2-0 for Chesterfield. So offside against Chesterfield on this near side. And a free kick for Woking just outside the penalty box. Chesterfield 1, Woking 0, 27 minutes gone. Cleared long by Andre. It's going to fall towards Horton. Strikes it against Lewis Walker. Comes off his back, goes out for a throw. And Chesterfield just take their time once again with Williams under no pressure whatsoever. Thinks about just passing the ball back to Tyra, and he does, just almost on the edge of his own 18-yard box. And perhaps Ian, Woking a little hesitant just to press Chesterfield, although they are doing that now.
No, I think it's all about consolidation and then looking to build and hoping to get back into the game. I think the worst thing at this point would be to go further behind. So I think they're looking, but there's a great ball there forward for Chesterfield, but well covered by Casey.
King with the cross from the right hand side, comes straight off Lewis, out for a throw to the Spyrites, and the fans in good voice seeing their side leading by 1-0. Grimes, the goal scorer, just kneeing the ball past Andre inside the 6-yard box following a Mandeville free kick, as Banks is just forced back towards the halfway line. Williams gathers, has at least 10 yards ahead of him, plays it short to Banks, and almost have a chance for Woking to come forward now with Akinola quickly dispossessed though. Dobra with a neat spin, just pokes the ball out onto this near side with Grimes, gets the ball back from Norton about 10 yards inside the working half, and Oldacre almost at walking pace ahead of the halfway line, bending the ball, right footed, finding Williams. The short pass onto the far side, nipping in there was Lennon. It's back with King with a couple of touches. It's all about playing the ball in from the right hand side. In fact, it's Banks. Now it's with King, hugging the right hand touchline. Mandeville picks up, stabbing in from the right hand side. It's all Chesterfield right now, just past the half-hour mark. Chesterfield dominating and leading by 1-0. Lovely turn of pace from Dobra, almost gets away from Kellerman, and Dobra just nipping at the heels of Akinola.
Yeah.
And a booking as well.
Yeah, for yellow card. Yeah, I think, you know, you can say, well, it certainly wasn't a malicious foul, but he caught Woking as they were beginning to break away, and so a yellow card for him as well.
Certainly one of the very bright prospects for Chesterfield. Quite small in stature, has plenty of pace, does Armando Dobra. Woking coming forward, but from that free kick it goes straight onto the head of Grimes, the goal scorer. Oldacre trying to complete the clearance. Kellerman steps in, closes him down quickly, and Chesterfield well inside their own half for a change, almost level with their own 18-yard line here.
Yeah. I have to say for Woking, it's good to see Jermaine Anderson back on the pitch. He's been out injured for a long time, came back briefly and then picked up another injury. Been on the bench a couple of times, but this is the first time he's started for a long time, and he's an important player for Woking. He always tries to make something happen. Very experienced, played with Peterborough in the Championship, and we just hope that he keeps his fitness going.
So we've seen a goal here, that's gone to Chesterfield. Plenty of goals so far in the game between Peterborough and Crawley. Crawley trailing 2-1 in the EFL Trophy despite taking the lead. And as far as Aldershot and Dorking are concerned, both those games are goalless in the National League beyond 30 minutes. On Sport Special here on BBC Radio Surrey, Chelsea leading 1-0, and that's in the League Cup semi-final against Middlesbrough at Stamford Bridge, 1-1 on aggregate. So that's all level there. Conditions are still pretty favourable here, remarkably wild for, I said, well, it is wild, but mild as well. No rain. And Chesterfield bossing the game, Ian Nicholson.
Yeah, they are. Yes, they are.
And Dobra, as that through ball almost comes off his shoulder. Odesina just with an unorthodox clearance with both feet raised off the ground, clears almost on the volley, right-footed out for a throw.
Yeah, that was a change. That was a long ball through there, and obviously in the end, with 2 or 3 players around him, just kicked safety first, kicked it out, as he should have done for the throw. But Chesterfield mixing it up. Most of it is passing football, occasionally going along.
And Banks did look as though he was pulled back for a moment by Lennon down the right-hand wing, just outside the box. The The assistant referee didn't raise his flag, and Woking possibly a tad fortunate there, Ian.
I missed that actually. I was just relieved to see the ball going out for the goal kick. But I would say that Woking's goal now is to really keep it tight for this first half, and then really reconvene, if you like, for the give it a go next half. But still quite a way to go there.
Well, since that goal from Grimes, Chesterfield haven't really produced much since then. There was a half chance for Armando Dobra inside the 6-yard box, but he stumbled just as he was about to shoot. Woking for their part have forced one corner that didn't amount to anything. Tyra, the Chesterfield goalkeeper, has yet to make a save. But Chesterfield look a very accomplished side as the ball is swept beautifully by Grimes out towards King on the right hand side, halfway into the working half. Naylor towards Dobra, halfway inside the working half. Back with Naylor, just Dobra, I should say, took his eye off the ball, went straight towards Kellerman, and finally working out some time just to get the ball back to Alexis Andre, but Kelly Evans knocks the ball straight out of play for a corner.
Yeah, I think that was a fair enough ball from Kelly Evans, anticipating Alexandro coming out from his area to clear it, and obviously wrong-footed Andre Jr., so went out for the corner, and needless corner to give away really, but more pressure for Woking.
And unless you want to do is give Chesterfield opportunities like this. Mandeville is going to bend this one in, right-footed, far side. Grimes with a downward header, just on the penalty spot. The shot comes in, fired over by Dobra. It's still Chesterfield 1, Woking 0. 10 minutes to go before half-time.
Yeah, good work there. Training ground move. Grimes heading it back, then laid back to Dobra, who hit it leaning back a bit, so went a yard or so over the bar. But good set piece there from Chesterfield.
So Grimes with the all-important goal separating the sides here. It's half-time for Crawley's game in the EFL Cup against Peterborough. Let's go to Nathan. So Chesterfield 1, Woking 0. Chesterfield coming forward with Horton in the left-back position inside the working half. Grimes sweeping the ball out wide. Many thanks there, Nathan. So half-time in the AFL Trophy with Peterborough 2-1 up against Crawley. Just about 8 or 9 minutes to go in the other National League games involving Aldershot and Dorking. Cross coming in towards the 6-yard box. It skims off the head of Dobra, and Horton's going to do well to keep this one in on the left. He can't quite do that, but the home fans more than happy with what they're seeing. Woking clearly with a lot to think about at the moment. Ian Nicholson.
Yeah, it's been probably what was expected. Although I have to say, having not seen Chesterfield much this season, I've been very impressed with their play. They're not where they are through luck. They've got a very balanced, very good side here, and if they don't get promoted, I'll be amazed. But it's Woking plugging away.
And they've got half a chance here now with Kendall storming forward down the right-hand side up against Grimes. Now inside the area, jinking one way, then another, gets to the byline, crosses low into the heart of the 6-yard box, and it's cleared by Naylor. Then the wayward shot comes in from Kelly Evans, but at least Ian Nicholson, a wayward shot, all the same, but an effort from Woking.
Yeah, very good work there by Charlie Kendall.
We'll just caught you there, Ian, because we have a goal at Aldershot, Rob Worrell. So, thankfully, at least an effort for Woking. A wayward one, all the same. Kelly Evans, for a great run from Charlie Kendall, running at least 30-40 yards down the right-hand side, almost turning Grimes into knots. Still Chesterfield 1, Woking 0. So Aldershot 1, Bromley 0 in that one there. So well, if you could stay like that, that would be a fantastic result for Aldershot given the run they've been on lately. Meanwhile here, still 1-0 for Chesterfield. Chesterfield 1, Woking 0. As Horton, just almost in a centre-back position, allows the ball just to drop over his head, gets the ball up towards Dobra. The referee, just for a moment, tried to play advantage. There was a tug on Dobra. And Chesterfield play the ball quickly, straight towards Tyra. Has to be quick, finds Williams, and Williams with a hurried ball out towards the right-hand side with King. Closed down quickly by Leonard. And once again, Chesterfield just at walking pace once again, but Chesterfield have just continued from pretty much where they left off last season. They finished third. They were the beaten finalists in the National League final, going down on penalties. Paul Cook has done a brilliant job here in his second spell. And in fact, in the last 10 years, he's won league titles at 3 of his last 4 clubs. As now Dobra, lovely turn, almost gets away from Kelly Evans, and Odasina with a vital clearance up towards the halfway line, Ian.
Yeah, and I think it was Jermaine Anderson there that was caught in possession, and really Dobra again twisting and turning, and Woking did well to scramble that away. Yeah, picking up on Chesterfield, yeah, I mean, Woking had one of their best nights for a long time here last year in February. Won here 3-1, and you'd have to say that at times last season Chesterfield looked really off the pace, and they were playing catch up, but they were very unlucky in the playoffs, you know, with that great game they had, and then they, as you say, they've really picked it up this season, strengthened and improved, and they're playing really well.
Mandeville, reverse pass onto this left-hand side. Norton just outside the box. Back with Mandeville, getting around Kendall, jostling for the ball. The shot takes a deflection, but it bends beyond Andre's far post, out for a corner. And thankfully there wasn't too much pace in that shot once it took the deflection. Otherwise, Andre would have been scrambling across his goal line. And
Andre was scrambling, yeah. He looked a little nervous for a while, and then with relief just let it go out for the corner. But again, it's that buzzing around the box from Chesterfield, mobile players. That one left Charlie Kendall standing.
Woking needs to be firm. Mandeville, deep cross towards a 6-yard area, playing very confidently by Alexis Andre Jr., and he's going to clear long. So let's get an update with the game between Dagenham and Redbridge and Dorking. Last time we were there, it was goalless. Is that still the case, Tom Mitchell?
Certainly is.
Chesterfield 1, Woking 0. Less than 4 minutes to go before half time. But Woking have just shown on a couple of occasions they are just growing into this game. Picking up scraps, to be honest, but they are trying to come forward when they can. Still 1-0 down. Many thanks for that, Tom. So still goalless there. Meanwhile, Chesterfield come forward. The other ball in coming from Banks, but scurrying off his line was Andre. Saw the danger early, and Woking can build from the back with Leonard down the left-hand side, straight against the chest of King, and now it's inside the centre circle with Naylor, who's signing from Wigan Athletic during the summer. Gets it squared towards Horton. And the leaders are just forced back ever so slightly into their own half, with Tyra coming outside his box just to pick up possession. And if they can't make their way down one side of the pitch, then they just try and make their way down the other side. And yeah, they're very patient and comfortable with the ball. They love to stretch the opponent, and that is exactly what they're trying to do with Woking, who, to be fair to them, have been very disciplined with their shape.
Yeah, they have, and then the ball then in for Dobra, and so much revolves around him buzzing away in midfield. But yeah, they have been disciplined in their shape. Disappointing that the goal that was conceded was from a set piece.
Dobra on the left edge of the box. Mandeville coming across Odesina, running away from the area. As Oldacre just allowed the ball just to slip across his body. Doesn't fool Kendall. He stuck to his task, but it's with Williams for Chesterfield. Down the right-hand side with King. First time ball in field towards Williams. Tries to spin away from Anderson, and he's forced back into the Chesterfield half. But as I was saying, on countless occasions, if they can't go down one avenue, then they try another, and they're doing that now with Greg on this near side with Horton. Oldacre seems to have all the time in the world. He's a real playmaker, just curling the ball out towards Williams as Woking string the defence across the 18-yard line, defending once again. It's been a familiar tale during the first 45 minutes. They're trailing by 1-0 on Sports Special with Tim Durrant. He'll be with you shortly, giving you the updates around the other grounds featuring our local sides. Crawley at half-time, 2-1 down in the AFL Trophy. Aldershot 1 up against second place Bromley, still goalless between Dagenham and Redbridge and Dorking Wanderers. As Chesterfield clear, beautiful pass from Oldacre. As now once again they spring the offside trap, or have they, Chesterfield? No, they haven't. Mandeville thought he was in behind Casey down the right hand side, but the offside flag goes up against him, and it's still Chesterfield 1, Woking nil. Come out to the final minute of the first half.
I really don't get that. There's obviously a regulation, but the linesman there kept his leg very determinedly down, even though the Chesterfield looked way offside, and then suddenly when he got to the ball, went to do the cross, the flag goes up. He was clearly offside from the beginning.
Michael Doyle, 5th game in charge, yet to taste success. I'm sure he could have picked up many other venues to try and get that first win. But they're still in this game of Woking, 1-0 down. Now to injury time. Not sure how much added time we have. Andre did have that slight injury concern with his foot. Meanwhile, Grigg has been caught offside on the far side of the field. But I don't think there'll be too much in the way of stoppages at the end of the first half, Ian.
No, Odesina did well there covering back, and Grigg, to my mind, even though this partisan crowd would disagree, I think clearly pushed Odesina over. But yeah, it's approaching half time. I think Woking will be relieved and pleased to go in just the 1-0 down, regroup, and then look at how they're going to approach this next half to try and get something out of the game.
We might just have a chance here as a shot comes in from a tight angle, but the whistle had already gone against Lewis Walker. There is a Chesterfield player down just outside the box, but from that tight angle, Lewis Walker trying his luck. He's been signed on a permanent basis, initially joined the club from Gillingham earlier this season. What do you think of his signing?
Well, I think both Walker and Kendall are they're signed with a lot of potential, and I've spoken to some people. They both look very good in training. Walker scored on his debut for Woking, and then went back to Gillingham. So, he's certainly got potential, as has Charlie Kendall. So this probably isn't the best game to judge them on, but there goes the half-time whistle, and that was a snapshot there by Walker, and it flashed across the goal.
Okay, so that's half-time. The leaders, Chesterfield, are 1 up against Woking. So let's go to Aldershot against Bromley. They're still playing. Rob Worrell.
To anyone who goes beyond those areas during the interval. Got the results of tonight's 50-50 draw. The first prize tonight is £1,010, so really worth winning.
All right, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, Tim, but thank you.
30594. 130594. If you've got that ticket number, make yourself known to any of the stewards. They'll make sure you get up to the lounge to pick up that cash.
Tim, do I still need to talk while I'm at other grounds? Right. Brilliant. Okay, no worries. Yeah.
Got a few scores for you from the National League. Many goals about tonight, other than our game, just 2 more games where there's been goals scored. That's Fylde 2, Halifax 0, and Aldershot 1, Bromley 0. The other big game of interest tonight with it, from our point of view, is Oldham 0, Barnet 0, or a late goal has just come through. It's Oxford City 0, York City 1. In the EFL Cup semi-final, it's Chelsea 2, Middlesbrough 0, with half an hour gone. Scores from League 1, the latest is Bolton 1, Cheltenham 0, Bristol Rovers 0, Exeter 1, Charlton 1, Northampton 2, Oxford United 0, Barnsley 1, Wigan 0, Wycombe 0, and Reading 0, Derby 0. Into League 2, it's Bradford City 1, Salford 1, Mansfield 1, Sutton United 1, MK Dons 3, Wimbledon 0. The EFL Trophy, Peterborough United 2, Crawley 1. We're home again on Saturday at the SMH, where Southampton United are the visitors. Usual 3 p.m. kick-off time. Expected to follow it from Southampton United in a good atmosphere. So see you all again down here in a few days' time. And some good events coming up in the lounges here. Still time to book for next Monday's Senior Spire World, which costs us £17 to attend for a 2-course meal and a guest speaker. This coming Monday, it's former player Laurie Madden who will be entertaining you during the meal. If you're into darts, why not join us for a night at the darts featuring legendary player John Lowe. That's Friday the 16th of February. Costs just £20 to attend or £150 for a table of 10. One of those 10 is able to face John up at the Ocky. Former Spire striker Craig Davis will be appearing here as a sporting dinner to raise funds for the Academy and the Chesterfield FC women's side. That's Thursday the 7th of March. Tickets for that cost just £30. And of course, don't forget that Mother's Day is coming up soon. That's in March, and bookings taken for that. Sure to sell out as it always does, but there'll be, I think, 2 sittings for that. So that's Sunday, March the 10th. So £18 for adults, £14 for over 14s.
Spectators are reminded that there is no standing in gangways or areas giving access to stands. All spectators are to remain seated throughout the match, as well as not standing in the yellow hatched areas. These need to be kept clear as they are designated walkways. The consumption of alcohol is not permitted in view of the playing area. Smoking or vaping is not allowed throughout the stadium. Should you require any medical assistance during the game, please contact the nearest steward. For all vehicle owners parked on the stadium footprint, please remain in your allocated parking space and refrain from moving your vehicle until instructed to do so. Please adhere to the 10-mile-an-hour speed limit. Finally, thank you for your cooperation.
Oh. No, not yet, Tim. Will do. Thank you. Chesterfield out. Walking out, both sides out. Tim, that is perfect timing because we're about to get underway for the second half. Woking then behind in the game, but it is only one goal. Let's look at it that way. And can Woking get something from this game? Something that so many sides in the National League have failed to do. In fact, only one, Oldham, have come away with a point here, and that was in August. Underway, no changes as far as I can see for either side, so I'll run through both lineups very soon. In fact, I will do that now because it's back with Tyra, the Chesterfield goalkeeper. So working lineup with Alexis Andre, with a back four of Casey, Odesina, Cuthbert and Kelly Evans, with Akinola sitting in front of them. Denan Lewis, Jim Kellerman and Jermaine Anderson in midfield, and the new partnership up front, Lewis Walker and Charlie Kendall. And I just took my eye off the game for a moment, but it does look as though we might potentially have a booking, or at least a talking to, between a couple of players. I can see one of them is Ollie Banks for Chesterfield.
Kelly Evans, I think. I wonder if Ollie Banks left a foot in on Kelly Evans, just having a talk. Kelly Evans, who won't step back, but from all I've heard of him, reacted.
So no further action taken between them. Chesterfield line up with Tyra, Harry Tyra, the goalkeeper, back four of Jeff King, Tyrone Williams, Jamie Grimes and Brandon Horton. In midfield, Tom Naylor Darren Aldaker and Ollie Banks, and a front three of Armando Dobra, Will Grigg and Liam Mandeville. And you can possibly just almost heard Ian there just almost wince as there was almost half a chance for Woking.
Well, I think Jermaine Anderson had the ball looking to put Charlie Kendall through and just overhit it to go out for a throw to Chesterfield, but it was a little bit of pressure there from Woking.
And I think in a game like this, Ian, certainly from Woking's perspective, they've got to make the absolute most from every opportunity they get in and around the Chesterfield box, because let's be honest, the way the game has gone, they're not going to get many of those chances.
No, I think our first half saw one attack with Charlie Kendall out wide and then one corner. I think that was probably it in terms of Woking pressure.
And now they threaten once again. Chesterfield with Naylor with a slide rule pass onto this right hand side. The cross comes in early from Mandeville. It was ahead of Grigg inside the box, and it goes out for a goal kick. 47 minutes gone as all the Chesterfield fans as one sing. And in fact, we've got the attendance figure just over 6,402. Including 46 hardy souls from Woking.
Yeah.
So we can see directly opposite our commentary position, actually.
Yeah, they're well positioned, all very closely clumped together for solidarity and warmth.
Grimes, just with an awkward header, gets it upwards towards the halfway line. Banks goes down, dropping to his knees, wins a free kick. And Woking are defending the goal to our right in the second half. With the ball right on the halfway line. In fact, with results as they are at the moment, Chesterfield could actually stretch their lead at the top to 14 points, with Bromley losing at Aldershot. Tyra having a quiet evening, and I dare say he's had quite a few quiet games here at home this season.
Yeah. Yes, it is a terrific home record they've had this season.
But when you look at the records of both sides defensively, Woking have actually only conceded 3 more goals, as now Grigg is coming in on goal! Great challenge coming in from Odesina, who's furious with the assistant referee on this near side. I think possibly with the timing of the flag more than anything else, but it was a long ball through the central channel, which Grigg got onto the end of, and for a moment he looked as though he was in behind the defence, possibly with only Alexis Andre to beat. But irrespective of the flag, it was a fantastic challenge from Odesina.
It was. He used his pace, he is fast, and he used his pace to cover well. Alexis Andre looked like he was coming, then went back and caught in no man's land.
King defending with a header for Chesterfield inside his own half. Woking have a throw, and Anderson wants to get on with it. Actually pushes Casey to one side. Get off the ball, I'm having it. Finds Casey, neat turn from him, away from Mandeville, pokes it down this left-hand side. But
better from Woking though.
Lewis Walker, he's just caught offside, just timed his run a bit too soon ahead of Tyrone Williams.
Yeah, better from Woking. I think Casey and Anderson combining there, and really unfortunate that Walker was offside, but it was better from Woking.
So you're listening to our sports special on BBC Radio Surrey. We're covering Woking as our featured game. We'll have regular updates, of course, on our other featured sides. Aldershot winning at home against Bromley, Dorking 0-0 at Dagenham and Redbridge. That time Chesterfield are caught offside, and Banks, let's just say, he's not very happy with the decision, and his name goes straight in the book.
Yeah, well, rightly so. I mean, I think I could see from here, and we're at the other end of the pitch, he was offside. Obviously the crowd didn't agree, But that's all home crowds are like that with frustration. But yeah, he was offside. Just suck it up.
You tell him, Ian. So, free kick for Woking. It's cleared by Alexis Andre, all in green. And Woking seeing more of the ball as Casey's pass almost picks out Kellerman on the far side. Picks up again, level with the 18-yard line. Cuts in, stumbles forward, still retains possession. And now Kendall, first time cross, it falls behind. Oh, and a chance of a shot there from Denon Lewis. First time stinging the palms of Tyra from about 16 yards out. Still 1-0 for Chesterfield.
Yeah, best chance of Woking the game that, but Lewis did well, but Woking did well, played it, worked it well down the right, then the cross came over, worked its way over to Lewis, hit it first time, straight at the keeper, but you know, much better for Woking.
And the Chesterfield fans are in arms once again with a decision that's gone against them down the right-hand side. Paul Cook, hands on hips. Having a long conversation, I think, with one of his backroom staff. But you're absolutely right, Ian. At the start of the second half, we're certainly seeing much more intent from Woking. They are making more of a fist of this. As Kendall battling for the ball with Horton, doesn't quite succeed. And the ball's just going to go straight out for a goal kick for Chesterfield. But this is definitely more like it for Woking.
And the other factor, of course, is the wind I think they've got the wind with them, which does make a difference.
So Denon Lewis with that shot straight at Tyra. Kelly Evans had that wayward effort in the first half, but they have a shot on target. The leaders strolling forward on this right-hand side. Ball into Williams. Inside the working half as the force back onto the halfway line. Good pressing from Casey, forcing Oldacre to just switch the ball out to the left-hand side. Finding Grimes. Not the best of passes towards Horton, with Kelly Evans nipping in. Chesterfield do win a throw, but Woking just seem to be much more compact and giving Chesterfield less room to manoeuvre.
Yeah, they're buzzing around more in midfield and a little bit, even when they get the ball, it's tough, but they're a little bit more cohesion.
Cleared by Casey on this near side. Let's get an update on Aldershot. Are they still leading against Bromley? Rob Worrell. Casey stroking the ball down this near side. Offside flag though goes up against Lewis Walker. Free kick for Chesterfield, but much more enterprising, much more positive from Woking.
Yeah,
still 1-0 for the home side. Definitely not having things all their own way, but certainly at this stage deservedly leading. A header away from Odesina. It could be stretched here though. Mandeville is up against Casey. Just beautiful to get away from Lewis. Cross comes in and the header over the bar from Chesterfield. Still 1-0 for the home side. So great news for Aldershot, still leading by 1-0. Dobra with half a chance for Chesterfield. Whipped in cross from the right hand side, and one of the shortest men on the field managed to get his head to the ball, but it went straight over the bar. Still 1-0 for Chesterfield.
Yeah, still 1-0, much more even, but Chesterfield there, that was a very good attack, and Dobra's not the biggest, so he couldn't really get his head to that, but then it ended up going over, but good work.
King looking lively up against Denon Lewis. First time clearance from Tyra. Caught in the wind, doesn't reach the halfway line, and Woking come forward again. Kellerman with a second bite of the cherry near the halfway line, receives the ball back from Casey, takes no chances, gets it all the way back towards Andre, looks up and sees Kelly Evans in a bit of space in the right back position. Woking coming forward over the halfway line, but they decide to go backwards. Kelly Evans again. As Anderson getting the ball back. In fact, it was Akinola. Woking come forward again. With Walker. And they're just stroking the ball with more confidence now. Decent phase of possession for Woking. Clipped beautifully by Casey, looking for the run now of Denon Lewis. First time cross comes in, powerfully headed away from Grimes. And Grimes had to be alert because it was Walker who was trying to make the run across him towards the near post. Didn't quite reach him though.
And Woking worked them open really well down the left there, and the ball in from Lewis. It was well defended, as you said, by Grimes, but good. You know, Lewis was in space there, and we didn't see that in the first half.
Yeah, and before that, the pass from Casey giving that opportunity for Lewis to find that first time cross.
Yeah, it's been much steadier football. Jermaine Anderson's been a lot more visible in this second half and making his presence felt, and Woking themselves pushing it around a bit.
So still 1-0 for Chesterfield. It was 0-0 between Dagenham and Redbridge and Dorking Wanderers. Do we now have a breakthrough, Tom Mitchell? 58 minutes gone. 1-0 for Chesterfield, the runaway leaders in the National League, looking to extend this incredible home record they have. Surrey with a clearance, just hurling up in the wind, gets it over the halfway line though. And Woking again threatening. Many thanks for that, Tom. Woking trying to come forward again. That time Mandeville and Oldacre just putting the squeeze on Woking as they're trying to press down the left-hand side. Casey with the throw. Both his socks rolled down quite low. Mandeville nipping in ahead of Walker, who went down following a challenge. And Walker just coming across just to apologise to Mandeville himself, who has recently signed a 2.5-year deal to stay at Chesterfield. And with the club in such a good place at the moment in Nicholson, you know, why wouldn't you want to stay
here?
No,
it's a happy place. You can tell that half time walking around, not just because of tonight, but because of the way the season's going.
Odesina at the half, the defence just keeping a close eye on that long ball from Tyrese. Chesterfield pick up the loose ball with Oldacre just ahead of the centre circle, sweeping the ball onto this near side. And I just wonder, even though the wind is on their backs in the second half, Ian, I think Chesterfield are just finding it a little harder with their passing.
Yeah, it shows that
and their distribution.
Yeah, it does. It shows that maybe the first half the wind was more of a factor than we realised, but also, you know, Woking putting on more pressure, and they're looking a bit ragged, Chesterfield, really, at times. Having said that, it's going to be a big ask for Woking to get into this game, but certainly it's been better.
Well, certainly had that chance through Denon Lewis as Kendall brings the ball down beautifully, trips under a challenge from Tyrone Williams, and Kendall then commits the foul on King. They both shake hands. To be fair to Kendall, he wasn't looking for a penalty. He did stumble inside the box.
Yeah.
Almost got ahead of Tyrone Williams at a tight angle, cutting it from the left-hand side, but nothing given.
Yeah, but again, good pressure from Woking and asking a few more questions in this half.
Already passing the hour mark, flicked on delicately by Grigg. Doesn't quite find Banks, who almost stole in behind the last man. Down the middle, Dobra's going to pick up deep inside the Chesterfield half. No, he doesn't. As Kelly Evans gets it towards Kellerman. The fans are shouting for offside against Kellerman, but play continues as Chesterfield clear. And it's fair to say the home fans are a little unhappy with the performance of Mr. Watson, the referee, tonight.
Well, I'll pass the linesman, and they thought it was offside. It did look like he was offside, I have to be fair, so but it wasn't given.
Now we've got a crucial update involving Dorking. There's been a goal at Dagenham and Redbridge. Who's it gone to? Tom Mitchell. Here's Odesina for Woking. His clearance almost seemed to take a deflection and then just seemed to hold up in the wind. Goes out for a throw eventually. As Kelly Evans loops the ball over the halfway line. Battling for it is Lewis Walker. So Dorking have gone behind at Dagenham and Redbridge. So we've seen goals in all our featured games. I think the last I heard, Farnborough Town were 1-up against Hemel Hempstead in the National League South. But Aldershot winning. That is still the case. Woking hanging in there, 1-0 down, but they've come out positively in the second half. And they have at least asked Chesterfield a couple of questions, especially with the effort from Denon Lewis that stung the palms of Harry Tyrer, the goalkeeper joining the club from Everton in the summer. And the men in blue and white again taking their time. Oldacre, he can really pick a pass or two, and he's done it again. That time finding Jeff King near the byline on the right hand side. Beautifully gets away from Casey. First time ball from Mandeville into the heart of the box, and Woking just do enough to clear the ball anywhere. It's gone out for a throw.
Yeah, lovely work by Jeff King on the right. He looked like he had nowhere to go and then flicked it past and along the touch line and then laid it back. Woking then covered the shot pretty well.
It's like Storm Jocelyn has blown herself out for the time being. Still no rain, very mild. It's gone out for a throw for Woking, still trailing by 1-0. Let's find out how Crawley are faring in the EFL Trophy against Peterborough United. Nathan Albin. Chesterfield spreading the ball out to the left-hand side now, as it's drilled in by Norton. Cleared by Akinola. Mandeville, first time ball onto this right-hand side. Now with Mandeville outside the area, trying to create a chance. So still no change there. Thank you, Nathan. Still no change here as well. Chesterfield 1, Woking 0, and Woking defending at the moment. Beautiful turn from Mandeville, getting away from Akinola as Chesterfield are just trying to find the perfect passes. Mandeville all of a sudden finds space, drills the ball, or almost drills the ball in from the byline. But Cuthbert was there for Woking to close him down quickly, and it is a corner for the home side.
Yeah, that's I think the best bit of pressure for quite a while that Chesterfield have had. They were back to their first half, playing it around the box to feet, probing and looking, and Woking covered well. Here's the corner.
It's taken short, 1-2. Back with Mandeville into the heart of the 6-yard box, but Alexis Andre was there, came out confidently. Now then, we've got another goal at Aldershot. Is it a second one for the home side? Rob Worrell. Cleared long by Alexis Andre. Not the best of clearances, still manages to get the ball over the halfway line with a couple of bounties. Mandeville collects, and Horton's going to do well to keep this one in, and he can't. As the ball speeds away from him, you can see a couple of chocolate wrappers just being swept across the pitch right now. But definitely Chesterfield a little more disjointed in the second half, but when they get the chance just to spray the ball around, they do look mightily impressive, and you can see why they are every inch the title challengers this season. Attempted cross that time for Woking. It's still inside the Chesterfield penalty area. Banks has a chance to get the ball around Casey, but he's not going to keep that one in play. Thank you so much, Rob. So one apiece there between Aldershot and Bromley. Dorking trailing 1-0. Woking trailing 1-0 too. And another substitution. Well, in fact, it's the first of the game, I should say, because
it's Luca.
It's going to be Luca, the player, another player for them, making his debut, replacing Jermaine Anderson. So we'll see what he's made of. The Luton Town player joining the club on loan. Rob Edwards, the Luton Town manager, describes him as a tenacious and aggressive midfielder. Let's see what he's capable of as Deneluz is battling for the ball. The whistle goes up against him. He's caught offside, says the assistant referee on the far side. But he is giving Jeff King, the Chesterfield right back, a difficult second half.
Yeah, no, that looked very tight, that decision there, but it's yeah, he is. He's working, getting behind the defence just a little bit more.
So your thoughts on the switch for Woking, Ian?
Well, I think Jermaine Anderson, it's his first game back for a long time, as we were saying, and I think you know, he's played, what is it, 67 minutes, which is a good workout. Another game coming up on Saturday. So, and Luca, you know, he's obviously high class, highly regarded at a Premiership club. So Luton will be wanting him to get some minutes, and Woking will be wanting to show a bit of his aggression and class, which is what he's rumoured to have.
Well, he was actually named on the bench for Luton Town in their third round FA Cup match against Bolton, and there's a round of applause and a standing ovation by quite a few Chesterfield fans at the moment. And as I look to my to the screen at the corner of the ground here, it's for a gentleman called Mick Bamford, which simply says rest in peace, as Woking come forward on the edge of the box. The cross comes in and a flying header at the back post from Kellerman, I believe.
Yeah. Charging
in at the back post, a cross from Denon Lewis, right-footed, beyond the far post, and stealing in was Kellerman, and he scored here, of course, almost 12 months ago in that brilliant 3-1 win for Woking.
Yeah, and another example there of Lewis getting behind the defence and doing well to get the ball in, and yeah, having Luca on will be good. Other changes could be, I mean, could we see a return tonight for Ricky Corboa, you know, asking a few questions down the right, but we'll have to see.
Just seeing where Luca currently is at the moment. I'm thinking it's just going to be a straight switch for Anderson in the heart of midfield.
Yeah, he's an attacking midfielder. He's there right in the middle, behind the front players.
So the latest scores involving our local sides: Crawley 2-1 down at Peterborough United in the EFL Trophy, 1-1 between Aldershot and Bromley, and Dorking and Trail 1-0 at Dagenham and Redbridge. And if you are keeping an eye on the League Cup semi-final, second leg at Stamford Bridge, the last we heard Chelsea were winning 4-0, so it looks like they're definitely going to Wembley. Question is, who are they going to face, Liverpool or Fulham?
Yes.
That's the question. Meanwhile, back here at Chesterfield, still finely poised, you know, 1-0 for the home side, just under 20 minutes to go. And we'll have all the after-match reaction coming up later tonight on X, formerly known as Twitter, of course, and with James Cannon in the breakfast show tomorrow morning. It'll be interesting to get the views of Michael Doyle. What can Woking do? But they could be in trouble here with Mandeville. Brilliant save from Alexis Andre, diving away to his right-hand side to deny Chesterfield what would have been a certain second.
Yeah. Now, was that Mandeville or Grigg? I couldn't quite see, but whoever it was got the ball to feet, twisted and turned, got the shot in. Two defenders around him, and Alexis Andre did really well there to palm it away.
Yeah, it was Mandeville. Brilliant turn, just creating a space, and he's going to take this corner himself. Right arm lofted towards the near post, and Casey just actually flicked the ball across his own line, and it's cleared eventually by Cuthbert for another corner.
Yeah, and Cuthbert did well there because he had the big man, and Cuthbert's a big man, but an even bigger man right behind him, so he back-headed it clear to give away another corner.
So Woking have definitely had their chances. The Kellerman flying header past the far post. But here's Mandeville. He was about to take the corner, but I think the ball actually moved off the quadrant. And that part of the ground to our right, in fact all the corners of the ground are quite exposed to the elements. Still no rain in the second half, thankfully, but it is very, very blustery and exceptionally mild too. Mandeville bending the ball away from goal. It's missed by everybody and goes out for a throw on the far side. Still 1-0 for Chesterfield.
Yeah, very different conditions really. Very, very windy now, and that cross was way over here. Yeah.
And just confirmation of the crowd tonight, and I think given the poor forecast and the conditions leading up to the game, that's a pretty good turnout for the National League leaders. Chesterfield still in possession down the right hand side. It's gone out for a throw. It's definitely been a scrappier affair since half time, and Ian Nicholson called it because the second change
Reece Brown
for Woking. Well, yeah, it's Reece Brown, but it is an attacking option. And again, it will appear to be a straight switch. One striker replacing another.
Yeah. I wouldn't have thought at this stage just throwing on more, Woking have to keep it tight and hope that they can nick something. They've had a couple of half chances this half.
Cuthbert with an upward header just gets away from the penalty area. Luca trying to get in on the action. The ball gets away from him though as Tyrone Williams slips forward. The ball towards King. First time cross. Great flying header from Cuthbert. Still hangs inside the penalty area. Lovely turn from Walker, but Dobra almost in on the act for Chesterfield on the edge of the box. Walker doing enough to clear. Now Luca, what can he do? Short pass to Denon Lewis. Luca battling for it with King. Loses out on that occasion. A throw for Chesterfield, but just give me your opinion on Charlie Kendall's debut.
He had one great opportunity in the first half. I think he showed he's obviously he's been doing well in training, looked lively. Obviously, for much of the game while he was on, Woking dealing in scraps, half chances. But so we'll really find out more in the next few games, I think. But he's off the mark in terms of appearances, and Woking fans will hope for the best.
Horton down the left-hand side into the Woking hub. Dobra with a lovely turn. Oldacre in centre field. Mandeville again with a lovely turn, tries to thread the ball towards King down this right hand side. That doesn't pay off for the home side. And now Akinola squares the ball to KC, and it's run out of play by Denon Lewis. So frustrating, right in front of the Chesterfield dugout.
Yeah, he puts his hands up there. I think his brain was moving quicker than his feet there, and he knew what he wanted to do, and then just overkicked it. But
so don't forget, we've got an action-packed weekend coming up on Saturday with our commentary game, Oldham against Woking, with updates from Aldershot Town against Rochdale and Borehamwood against Dorking Wanderers. Must be coming up to the final stages of the EFL Trophy between Peterborough United and Crawley Town. The last we heard, Nathan, it was 2-1 for the home side. How are Crawley doing? Woking deep inside their own half with the throw, nodded forward by Walker. Brown almost getting the ball for the first time, runs away from him. Free kick for Chesterfield, and King has the free kick, takes it short, exchanges passes with Oldacre, and King just slips, gets his feet all over the place. Thank you very much there. So, and welcome back to a very popular man in Chesterfield, the referee, Dean Watson, clearly annoying the fans, and Paul Cook. And there we go, the song says it all. You don't know what you're doing. Not my words, the fans.
We've heard that a few times, haven't we, Brent?
Anyway, Chesterfield have a throw close to the halfway line on this right-hand side. Akinola just partially clears, but Chesterfield once again regain possession. Lovely, intricate play involving Dobra and Horton. As Odesina almost loses the ball, and all of a sudden Chesterfield just pick up the pace down the left-hand side. It's rather scrappy at the moment. And Woking win a free kick. Kelly Evans going down. The free kick for Woking. And okay, Woking are still losing, and when you look at their league position, it is still a very precarious one. But definitely signs for optimism, bearing in mind that they've not played for 17 days. Michael Doyle's made 7 changes, including 2 players making their debut from the start, a third coming off the bench as well. They've improved as the game has wore on, and they are still in this.
Yeah, they are, and it would be a huge upset if they got anything out of this, but given that they've had very few chances, but it's...
And Casey's just kept the ball in play. It looked good to me. The Chesterfield fans not happy though. Tyrone Williams will clear, but it comes straight off the back of Casey. I thought Casey did very well just to keep that ball in play, Ian. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, I think it was in play. Certainly, fans and Paul Cook didn't think that. And Paul Cook had a few words with the 4th official, but no, I don't think the ball was all over the line at all there. That was one decision that was right in front of us, so we did have a good view.
So Chesterfield are about to make their first change, with Jacobs coming on for Ollie Banks. So a first change for Chesterfield. Let's get an update with Aldershot. The last we heard, it was 1-1 against Bromley. How are things going now for the home side, Rob? And in fact, there's going to be a second change for Aldershot, with Dobra going off. We've had a quieter second half, and James Berry will be on for him with just over 10 minutes to go. So a couple of changes for Chesterfield, with Berry and Jacobs coming on for Dobra and Banks. Horton with a header infield towards Tyrone Williams. It's still near the halfway line as Woking tried to wrestle a ball back off the league leaders. Horton in a left back position, almost rocking back on his heels, clears left footing, at least 30 yards down the line. Kellerman going rather high in the tackle there. Thank you very much, Rob. So just under 10 minutes to go. So just before I went to Rob, I was just saying that Chesterfield have made a couple of changes, with Berry and Jacobs coming on. Berry, in fact, came on against Altrincham and was the difference with a late goal for them, as now Grigg comes inside the box, tries to set up a chance for Mandeville. Again, another decision goes against the home team, adding to their frustration.
You have to say that Woking defended well this second half, and and Chesterfield have had a lot fewer chances, and a bit of a...
And Luca's just lost his balance, trying to keep the ball in play.
Luca.
Yep.
But yeah, Woking defended a lot, very solidly, and it makes you realise just how disappointing that goal was that was given away from a set piece. In open play, they really so far haven't been opened up very much at all.
Well, do you know, I'm struggling to think of many clear opportunities. There was that fantastic save from Mandeville during the second half that that produced an equally brilliant save from Alexis Andre. But apart from that,
Yeah.
I'm really struggling to think of many noteworthy opportunities, but that's a great pass. Almost setting up a chance for Jacobs inside the penalty box, running in from the right hand side, but Luca collects for the away side. But Walker's lost out. Gillingham, Chesterfield pick up again as Mandeville goes down against Odesina. The referee says carry on. Luca collects. Now with Lewis, back with Luca. Looks for an opportunity to almost get Woking in. And it was, and it would have been Walker down the middle, about 25 yards out. And had he trapped that ball, he could have had a chance, possibly, just to take the ball with a couple of touches and test the keeper.
But a couple of lovely touches there by Jaden Luca, showing what he's made of, moving away from players. Now that was the ball to look for to Walker, but unfortunately it wasn't taken.
Okay, so it's full time for Crawley. Are they still in the EFL Trophy? Nathan Albin. So the long throw from Horton. And that goes out for a Woking, throw level with their own 18-yard line. Weather conditions really troublesome, certainly been more noticeable in the second half. From our thank you, Nathan. So sadly Crawley are out of the EFL Trophy for another season. Meanwhile, here's a chance for Mandeville, surely to seal it. It opened up for him, but blocking his path was Cuthbert. It didn't come off Cuthbert, but I think the defender did enough to put him off, and he drags his shot wide.
Yeah, he sliced it wide. It was a very good opportunity there for Chesterfield to put the game to bed, but still life in the game yet.
And the ball is just flicked through all the way through to Harry Tyra. Bowls the ball out, overarm, reaching King in the right back position. Gets on with things, tries to find Grigg. And as you rightly said, Ian, sometimes the mark of a striker is just to get the ball in the back of the net. You can be pretty anonymous as a striker, but still do your job.
Yeah, and I have to say, I think Odesina and Cuthbert have done well at the back tonight. I'd have to see the goal to see who was at fault there. There is even some question on the fans forum, which isn't the most unbiased thing in the world, that maybe the goal was offside, but until we see the highlights we won't see. But Cuthbert and Odesina have done very well.
Final substitution for Woking with Ricky Corboa coming on for Lewis Walker. And Woking chancing her arm in the closing stages. Ball lifted towards the edge of the box. Grigg at the back for Chesterfield, heads it away. As the ball hangs in the air, Luca just waits for the ball to drop eventually, and does. He pokes the ball forward down this left-hand side. Lewis with the ball towards the far side. The header coming in from Cuthbert. It's headed away by Williams inside the 6-yard box. Now in Luca. Can't get past Mandeville. Cleared by the home side. Only as far as Odesina. That was such a poor pass. He was unchallenged. He wanted to pick out Casey, and the pass was behind him and straight out for a throw. So a final change for Chesterfield now. The substitutions coming thick and fast. And it looks like it's Grigg. Yes, Grigg is coming off for Ash Palmer. Joe Quigley, I do beg your pardon. Let's get a quick update on Dorking. They were trailing 1-0 at Dagenham and Redbridge the last time we were there, Tom Mitchell. So as I was saying, Quigley coming on for Grigg. So Woking have kept out Chesterfield's leading goal scorer this season. Cuthbert with a cushion header. Back towards his own goal line. Gets it to Andre, good clearance over the halfway line, straight onto the head of Williams though, and a cheap foul given away by Kellerman on Naylor, just running back into his own half.
Yeah, and it'll be some of these players will be Jim Kellerman's former teammates, so but he'll be more frustrated really about giving away that free kick there. It's just a bit of a sloppy late tackle.
Oldacre with the ball down inside the centre circle, both arms outstretched, didn't know what to do with the ball, goes square instead to Grimes, the goal scorer, the only goal of the game, scoring with his knee from a set piece. As Quigley battles for the ball with Cuthbert, and all the experienced defender for Woking, all he can do is knock the ball out for a throw with just under 3 minutes to go in normal time.
Yeah, and game looks as though it's going towards yet another Chesterfield win here at home. All but one of their games this season has been here.
Berry almost with half a chance for Chesterfield, as now King shouts of shoot for the right back, decides against it, has the ball on the edge of the box, drills the ball in towards the far post. It's beyond Quigley, he was running it towards the far post, it goes beyond him and out for a throw for Woking with time running out. They are losing by 1-0.
And this second half, certainly the wind is behind Woking, which will have helped, but they've been that bit bolder, I think, looking to try and make something happen. Even still haven't had many opportunities, but it's certainly been a more even half than the first half, and it's important that Woking don't just go out of these games with a whimper, that they really are bold in the way they approach them.
Goal kick for Woking. I'm not quite sure what the fans have seen on the far side there. Quigley's furious with Alexis Andre. Now what's happened there, Ian? I'm not quite sure what happened. I just took my eye off the ball for a moment.
I think the ball boy had it and was being a bit silly like some ball boys are, and throwing it around, and I think Andre, whether he cuffed him round the head or whatever, I don't know. It's right at the other end of the pitch, but anyway,
he's been booked.
Yeah, the referee gave him a yellow card.
Alexis Andre's been booked, and he clears. It's a flat clearance, just gets over the halfway line. And now a chance for Balboa. He's in, is he? Oh! It saved the wrong side of the post. What a chance for Balboa. In behind the defence, only the keeper to beat. Oh, he beat the keeper, okay, but he beat the wrong side of the post too.
Yeah,
and that was the chance. That was the chance.
That was the best chance of the game, definitely for Woking, and it was a ball over, and the Chesterfield defence were caught ball napping, and both Lewis and Corbeau were onto it. Corbeau controlled it really well. He was through at pace, just flicked it just wide of the post.
And Lewis next to him was absolutely furious, expecting to get the ball, but even with hindsight, Corbeau, I think he did the right thing.
Yeah, he did the right thing. And I mean, credit to him in the sense he was just fresh onto the pitch, cold, but what a moment that could have been in this game.
That could have been the chance, and Woking could have been leaving tonight with something. Woking with the throw. Let's get a really quick update on Aldershot against Bromley. Rob Worrell. Chesterfield tried to break forward. Casey hurtling back, picks up for Woking. Just 3 minutes of added time to be played. Luca in a deep lying midfield position, picks up, plays it square to Cuthbert as Woking tried to launch another attack. Gives the ball away though. It's on the halfway line, and Casey absolutely furious with Naylor, who drops to his knees. Free kick for Chesterfield. And Paul Cook is looking at another win for his side as they continue their relentless pursuit Back here at Chesterfield, into stoppage time now, 92nd minute. Boos for Alexis Andre, booked for stealing the keeper off the ball boy as he clears it long and it bounces inside the box, and Tyra had to be a little lively there, just running back to his own goal line, just flops inside the 6-yard box. He's going to waste a few seconds. Korboa just running towards him, but that was just that alone was an indication of how strong the wind has been. Certainly in the second half, Ian, with Nicholson.
It has, and then he's done a kick out, which certainly won't please Paul Cook, as Woking continue to press, looking for something from the game.
They're not finished yet. Korboa down the right hand side, pokes the ball in field, and comes off Horton. So now then, Woking have a corner in the final minute of stoppage time, and Luca, the player making his debut for Woking, is going to take this, and he'll swing this one in, left-footed, wearing gloves. Just puts the ball down on the quadrant, raises one arm, and it comes, bends it towards the penalty spot, headed away by Quigley, falls towards Casey on the 18-yard line. Shot comes in, it's charged off Grimes, and Chesterfield now a chance for a break as now they come forward, but Alexis Andre well off his line, clears right down the middle. Kelly Evans can't get onto it, and Chesterfield just happens to clear over the halfway line. Odesina hoofs the ball into the stand opposite our commentary position and bites his jersey, because I think he, and along with all the other Woking teammates, know that is the final piece of action this evening. Woking, valiant though they were, especially in the second half, come away from the league leaders empty-handed. They have failed like so many other sides in the National League this season. They have lost, but Dorking, let's go to Dorking, because there's a penalty there at Dagenham and Redbridge. Tom Mitchell. So as I was saying there, Woking so brave, especially in the second half. They could have nicked a draw at the end. Balboa on as a substitute, only for a few minutes, got in behind the defence, only Tyra to beat, and his shot shaved the wrong side of the post. That's how close Woking were to becoming only the second side to take something away from Chesterfield this season.
Yeah, and it would have been a great goal for Ricky Korboa, but Woking, creditable second half, asked a lot more questions of Chesterfield. 1-0 the final score, still a lot to do for Woking. Chesterfield doing really well. They look nailed on for promotion, and a good luck to Chesterfield, I would say.
Well, they have certainly been the team to beat for most of the campaign. In fact, I can't remember a time when they haven't been on top spot, but it was a narrow victory. Chesterfield certainly had to work hard for this. Thank you so much. So what a dramatic end to that game between Dagenham and Redbridge and Dorking. So just to end what we've been saying, Ian, before we just wrap things up here at Chesterfield, certainly a lot of positives to take, certainly from the second half performance where they were more positive. They did have, of course, that chance with Ricky Korboa. Jim Kellerman had that chance with a flying header at the back post as well, and not forgetting the chance that Lewis Walker had, stinging the palms of Tyra.
Yeah, they asked a lot more questions. Still a lot of work to do. I mean, Woking are let's be honest, they're really up against it now, in the run-in for the season. But there were positives in that second half performance, and it was a tight game, and they could have nicked something. So all to play for, and on to Oldham.
Yeah, and as you say, Ian, thank you so much. It's lovely working with you again. I can't remember the last time we were at a game. It may well have been at Oldham, actually, ironically enough.
Or Gateshead. I think we were at Gateshead, and that was a much more happy. It was.
You're quite right.
Much more happy day for Woking.
That was at Gateshead earlier this season. So a tough trip at Oldham, but they can take plenty of heart from this performance tonight. Woking, they have failed like so many other sides in the National League. No disgrace in that, and it took just one goal to separate the sides tonight. That fell for Jamie Grimes inside the 6-yard box when Mandeville's free kick came off his knee. That settled the issue, but Woking were there close to an equaliser in the closing stages. Boa on as a substitute, one-on-one with Tyra. Shaw saw his shot just go the wrong side of the post. Thank you so much for listening to our coverage, whether that was with BBC Radio Surrey or with BBC Sports Online. Don't forget, we've got after-match reaction coming up on all of our featured games tonight on X, formerly Twitter, of course. So stay up for that if you can. In the meantime, I'm just going to go off and get a couple of post-match interviews in the very near future. So thank you so much for listening.